what you're being wooed by that Pied Piper. You're being wooed by that Pied Piper, singing your praise songs to shut off your discernment. I don't love nobody so much I won't correct them. Productivity doesn't place anybody above correction. Friendship doesn't place anybody above correction. Why? Why? Because I don't want to be a liability in your life. By knowing you're wrong, knowing that your course of action is going to shipwreck your life and not saying anything. I can't. Maybe you can do that. Maybe you like saving friendships by being passive. I can't do it. Are you understanding what I'm saying? Believers, every relationship is either toxic or transforming. It is either toxic and governed by the spirit of Satan himself, or it's governed by the Holy Spirit, and the Holy Spirit is working in it through you to bring transformation or to bring comfort to someone else's life. Every relationship is. Are you understanding what I'm saying? Now you understand. Listen, now you understand why this. You ever notice, and there are some people, it's so obvious, their whole demeanor change with you when they get around certain people. Why? Let me show you this. Because you only allow the Holy Spirit to prevail in your relationship with them, but another spirit prevails in their relationship with that person. And when they get together, the two come into agreement, and that ungodly spirit comes in the midst of them and begin to now frame negative reference points and vantage points, and it gets visible on their face, all contorted and everything else. Looking all crazy at you, forgetting that you were their encourager yesterday. You see that? Can you understand that? All right. So we have to die to grow in this process. Listen, toxic relationships should die and never be resurrected again. Let them die. Don't try to maintain toxic relationships. But again, you will not assess a relationship to see whether it's toxic or not if you are being blindsided by gifts and compliments. You won't. You won't. So you'll exercise your discernment on everybody else that's obviously evil, but not your intimate enemy. Enemy of your own development. Listen, but then in good relationships, in transforming relationships, there are depths. You know why? Because every season of a relationship, something has to die again. Why? You cannot have new fruit unless something dies after the last. That's why every time you go through another season, good relationships are tried along with the evil one. And it's like a separation of the wheats and the tares. So even good relationships are stretched to the core. Why? Why? Because God says, I'm going to show you why they're hanging around you. I'm going to show you why God said they're trying to steal my glory by knowing you. They got no friends other than yours. They got no intimate relationships other than yours. You see that? This, what you used to call the fellow that sit on the passenger side. My wife knows. What do you used to call it? Scrub! Scrub! Yeah. Don't act like you ain't ghetto and don't remember all this stuff, y'all. Y'all remember Scrub, right? Scrub ain't got no car. Scrub ain't got no job. Scrub ain't got no friends. Scrub ain't got no money. The only car, job, money Scrub got is being able to sit on the passenger side of your ride. And that's what some of you had spiritual scrubs in your life right now. They're hanging along, sucking the life out of what God is doing in your life. You're supposed to have more money than you got. You paying bills for a scrub. You're supposed to have more friends than you got. Your scrub keep running them off. Your scrub will run off all your good friends because your scrub don't want you to start giving your efforts to somebody else. Your scrub becomes intimidated when you start giving your efforts to somebody else. when you start sharing your resources with someone else, when you start mentoring someone else, when you start imparting in the life of somebody else, Scrub got a problem with it. Why? Because Scrub wants to be the sole benefactor of your benevolence. I understand what I'm saying. Can you see that? Some people have no discernment except the overflow that comes off of your life. Some people have no Holy Spirit except the overflow that comes off of your life. They won't be in the presence of God. They won't position themselves for increase. But they'll hang around you because God always speaking through you, and now they're making an idol out of you. Why you got to give the same person a word all the time? They're making an idol out of you. God's going to judge you for it. Don't allow someone to make an idol out of you. You got to know when it's time to cut it off and say, I've given you every word I need to give you. I can't fabricate a word for you. I can't make up word of knowledge. I can't just prophesy. Creating codependent relationships because you're scared to confront a scrub. Never let people get you in trouble with God. And that's another trick of the enemy. When you got people always around you celebrating you, they give you the big heads. They make you think you're something that you're not. Never allow anyone in their compliments to sidetrack you from the sobriety that's consistent with your assignment. You better remember where you came from. You better remember what God not only delivered you from, but you better remember what the church don't know anything about right now. I understand what I'm saying. All right. I got to get into these three folds. Fold one. I'm getting my message. Romans chapter 5, verse 7. For scarcely for a righteous man will one die, yet peradventure for a good man some would even dare to die. But God commended his love toward us, in that while we were what? Yet sinners, Christ died for us. The first fold of the relational cord is love, exercising love. Exercising love. That's the first fold of the threefold cord that brings relational rejuvenation. Verse 5 of Romans says, for scarcely for a righteous man will one die. Listen, loving a good person is easy. When you have to love a rebellious person, I understand what I'm saying. It's easy loving Pastor Bowles. He does everything I ask him to do because he understands my assignment. But when you have the insubordinate, recalcitrant person, why? In their heart wanting to do it their way, yet you got the instructions from God about how it ought to be done, it takes a little deeper love. Now, watch this now. So even the text says it's easy to die for a righteous man because something in you want to reciprocate for a righteous man. But now a wrongous man, who wants to die for a wrongous man? Watch this now. The one that has been born of the Spirit of God